Hello everyone, Charles Walhingford back again with another video for you. This is for my cigar smokers. This video is about when and why you should buy a better cutter. If you're starting to smoke cigars, you're gonna have to buy a cutter at some point. You can go to the lounge and they have cutters there for you, but you're gonna have to have your own cutter. And it's just something that you just need to have. Maybe one part it looks good, it makes you look like you know what you're doing, and the other part is you want to be sure that you are cutting your cigar right with your own cutter. Alright, so the first thing is, when should you buy a nicer cutter? So first let's talk about the cheaper cutters. I have quite a few cheaper cutters here. Here's one of the first cutters I actually ever purchased. And this was given, well, I purchased it, it wasn't given to me at this time. This is my first one. Now, what is it about cheaper cutters that's good? The good about cheaper cutters, they're cheap. Didn't cost me hardly anything. And cheaper cutters can cost you anywhere from like this one around maybe $3 or $4, and this one will be around $7 or $8 for the cheaper cutters. And I also have this one right here, and this a V cut and a straight cut. Your straight cut cheap cutter, here's one thing, I don't know if you can tell, it's not moving that smooth. This is one of the cheapest ones you can get. And then the blade is just one blade. One blade, and that's all you get. So you can step it up a little bit more, and you have two blades. Two blades right there. And then of course you have here the double, and that's nice too. But at some point, you're gonna have to go ahead and not discard it, but realize it's time for a new cutter. It's time to spend some money on a cutter. And how much money would you be spending on a new cutter rather than this $6 to $8 cutter? You're gonna spend around $25 all the way up to $50, and even some of them cost $100, but I'm not talking about those right now. I'm talking about these cutters. Colibri, Xikar. One of these two. They have other more expensive cutters or on their lines, but these two cutters are the companies I really endorse. All right. So what are you getting? Let's first talk about this Xikar. What are you getting? Now, first of all, there is heavier material. You have two blades, which is good, and it's made out of a thicker, harder plastic. It's still plastic, it's not metal, but it's thicker, harder plastic. Especially with Xikar, the thing you're getting that's worth every penny is the warranty. It has a lifetime warranty. You send it back to Xikar, they either replace it or fix it. So it's absolutely worth it, because if you're smoking enough cigars, it's going to go dull. Your cutter's going to go dull eventually, and they don't sharpen a cheaper cutter. They don't sharpen the cheaper cutters as sharp as these. They just do not. It's not the same. It's absolutely not the same. So if you are purchasing this right here for anywhere from $24 to $30, it's a great deal because of the warranty. You're not gonna, it's almost like insurance. You're not gonna be let down, because if something goes wrong, it's replaced or it's gonna get sharpened. So the Colibri doesn't have the same warranty, but what it does have is the workmanship, the craftsmanship. And this thing is designed to last a long time. You can see how thick they are. The screws aren't faux screws. These here, let me see here. I'm not so sure that this is an actual screw that keeps this together. Not really. I was looking at it, I'm not sure. I'm absolutely positive that this is the absolute screws that are used to keep this together. And look how thick it is. You can compare the two. And this didn't cost that much more. If this was this is $40, this is $25. Then also, what are you getting? You're getting a little bit more action. You're getting a little bit more quality, and it's spring loaded. Spring loaded. So you're getting that also. It's not so crazy to spend $40 on a cutter if it's about time. And so what I'm saying to you is, if you've had enough cigars, or you've got come to the point where your cutter has dulled, your old cheap cutter, your cheap cutter starting to dull, just go ahead and shell out a little bit more money and get a real cutter. Well, here's another thing. See that? It's broken. It's bound to happen if you have a cheap cutter. It's bound to happen. They will break. And then if you have a nicer cutter, either it's built to last, like the Colibri, or it can be replaced or fixed, like the Xikar. Alright everyone, I hope this video helped you out. I hope this is informative for you and you learned a little bit about cutters. I'm Charles Walhingford, and both of these are how I spent my money.